wait, guys, hold on. Donnie and I are back, and we are back with Take Two Rundown, where we are going to. Oh, wait, I need to do the introduction first.
Yeah, you got to put on our theme song.
Take it him. Yo. Mic check 1 2. It's the rundown crew. Cerise and Donnie spitting truth like they do. News on the block, sports on the rise. Entertainment served raw, no disguise. Got the streets buzzing from the east to the west. Every headline dissected, they bring the best. Cerise with the heat, Donnie's got the flow. 2 voices, 1 mic, let the knowledge grow. Take 2, rundown, you know the sound. Truth in the hustle, breaking new ground. Take 2, rundown, where the real gets found. Tune in, lock in, it's the illest around. Cerise dropping gems, sharper than the blade. She's the queen of the mic and she's never afraid. Donnie's got the stats, numbers on his tongue. Break it down to plays till the game is spun. They talk about the wins and they talk about the loss. From the court to the field to the Oscars gloss. Keeping it 100, never out of bounds. They're the voices of the people, flipping all around. Podcast waves like a storm in the night. Cerise and Donnie shedding pure insight. From the headlines dripping with cold hard truth to the laughs in between, keeping it aloof. So, but you got it though. It's the illest. So.
We are back, and we're now called Take Two Rundown because this is our Take Two. That's it. D, tell everyone. The second time around. And they yeah, they say second time around is always the best anyway. Right. You know. Tell them what we're going to be covering in our show all the time.
We're going to be covering some sports. First of all, you know, it's college football season, NFL. We're going to be talking about current events, and a little bit of politics, you know, that kind of talk. All 3 of those topics kind of, you know, causes some buzz. You know, we got something for everybody.
That's it, guys. So, you know, I mean, today we're going to come at you with a little bit about the Charlie Kirk situation in regards to the news segment and something that Trump has recently signed, and not a lot of people are talking about it. We're also going to talk a little bit about Diddy, since Diddy is coming up 2 days from now, and his sentencing. And then we're also going to get into sports because I do love football. But let's start out with Charlie Kirk, the current trending right now. And, you know, I don't know about you, Donnie, what was it that you knew about Charlie Kirk? Because I didn't know much about the guy before he recently got killed.
I knew of the sound bites, the negative sound bites that he spoke on when he spoke about blacks. You know, for example, right off the rip, he said he didn't feel comfortable boarding a plane if the pilot was black. He questioned if the pilot was qualified, or did he get the job because someone felt sorry for him. I remember he spoke to a young kid. He was debating an 11-year-old kid, where the kid asked him, why do you feel the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? And his response to the 11-year-old kid was, it was a mistake because, I just feel it was a mistake. And the kid said, why? I would not be here if it wasn't for the Civil Rights Act. And his reply to that kid was, exactly. This was a little black kid. Don't take for yourself. Just a lot of comments like that he made, and by no stretch of the imagination do I condone what happened. I don't think anyone should be killed or pew-pewed, shot because of their their views. I don't condone violence at all. It's unfortunate that happened to him.
Yeah. I don't condone violence either. I do feel like there's more to the story. Now, away from his political views, he was a diehard Christian, and he seemed to love God a lot. And I also am very spiritual. So I guess that where there's negative, there's positive. But I'm also mixed with Black, white, and Native. So hearing those clips have also kind of put my head in a tailspin as well, where I'm like, I think right now, if he did make it to heaven, which I think his heart was clean when it came to God, I'm not a judge, but he's probably looking down and thinking, ouch, look at the legacy that I left.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty sketchy with some of the things that he did say. Aside from that, I don't believe that the person that was, taken in actually did the shooting. I just feel like this is another case of JFK. I think there's a lot of politics behind it. I do believe, and this is just my conspiracy theory mind, I believe that it was actually all a setup. And he was the fall guy, the scapegoat for this new bill to be signed or this new law, if you will. I'm not American. From Trump. Trump just brought out a new law, and here's a clip of it right here, guys.
On Thursday, Donald Trump signed the new National Security Presidential Memorandum number 7. NSPM 7 for short. I assume you didn't read it, nor have you read NSPMs 1 through 6. But NSPM 7 could be the basis for the next phase of this administration's crackdown on political speech and dissent. The White House calls the memo, quote, countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. It's a sweeping document that creates a framework that could allow the government to systematically dismantle political organizations that it deems to be a threat.
And this is going to give the government power to go after certain organizations. And I just feel like it's a real foul smell, because it's almost like they're going after people who don't support Donald Trump or the administration. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Positive outlook that we as Black people have on it is, you got to, in a couple more years, it'll be over. It'll be behind us. And prayerfully, everyone has learned from this past elections that elections have consequences.
Mm-hmm. Elections are consequences. I really like the way you put that, because you know why? A lot of people were like, were they ready for another Biden administration? Because, Kamala Harris, she was really under the nail of Biden, and she did a lot of things when she was a judge to a lot of Black youths, putting them in jail for a dime of Bob Marley. And she did a lot of questionable things as well. Should she have been judged because of the things she did in the past?
No, just to piggyback on what you said, as far as is Kamala, should she have been judged based on, her position when she was her position when she was in California, the prosecutor or the DA or whatever the position she held. I, as a police officer, retired police officer, we're on the streets. And we're enforcing the laws. And there are times when we charge people with small amounts of marijuana, and that's work. That's work. And to do all of that work for the case to go before the system, just to not get prosecuted or just to let the person back out on the streets to go back to doing what they were doing. What kind of message does that send? So it's like, on one hand, people talk, depending on what side of the political spectrum you're on. Yeah, they want justice, they want law and order, but for who? Who do they want law and order for? Kamala was that's what she was about, law and order. But now, they use it against us, against her, because of her position, and that's, it's just talking out of both sides of your mouth. You can't have it both ways. You can't have law and order, and then on one hand, and then when you enforce the law, you're complaining about the law being enforced.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So talk about epiphany. That just really opened up my eyes, Dee, because I never really looked at it from the law enforcement part. I always looked at it like, oh, come on. You're going to put a guy in jail for a dime of weed. Come on. Is that what you're doing now? But when we look at it from your point of view, where you are on the street beat, you are a patrol officer, you are doing the protect and serve, and also putting criminals in jail for doing things illegal. To have a dime of weed is illegal. So right. If you are going to have any type of substance that's illegal, it doesn't matter if it's a dime bag or if it's an ounce or a kilo, you are definitely going to get picked up and be put in front of a judge. And if every single person that has a dime bag on them gets out and gets slapped on their wrists, then when is it going to be when they're going to have a kilo? And they're going to be like, upping the ante because they're like, and who's to say that that person that had the dime on them doesn't have kilos and bricks somewhere else? Maybe they just happen to have a dime on them that day, you know? Yeah,
exactly. And whether it was a dime bag or a simple battery, those cases were brought to the attorney's office, the prosecutor's office, by law enforcement, by street cops. Kamala didn't go out and grab those people. Those people were brought into the system. It's levels to it. So, it's all politics, and I don't know why politicians don't do a better job explaining, hey, I didn't go out and arrest these people. They said he did this. I looked at it, and it seemed something bad, so we prosecuted him, But they just, I don't know. They don't do a good job explaining.
Right. Well, I want to remind our viewers, guys, Donnie and we will have a topic, and we will go right off to the left or to the right, to the center. Sometimes we'll stay on point, but we are very famous for just being able to roll with our thoughts and our conversation. So you got to be patient with us on this show, but you will love it. We'll always bring it back to basics, where we will say, next time when you guys are voting, really pay attention. And sometimes it's just not as clear as it's coming out. And you're right. Sometimes, like Kamala really should have said, hey, a lot of you guys are hating on me because I put someone in jail for a 10 bag. But guess what? We pay those police officers to do the law. And I was just upholding the law. Not once have I heard her actually say that. So
you don't say it. And I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Talk about upholding the law. Diddy, it's such another controversial topic. Diddy is going to court. He's going to be sentenced on October 3rd. Now, I'm just going to quickly give the rundown, guys, because I want you guys to kind of just know what's going on. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who do know, just be patient. I'll try to be as concise as I can be. Okay, so Diddy got charged with racketeering and 2 counts of the Mann Act. Now, the Mann Act is a prostitution charge, and the racketeering is called RICO. RICO was a very serious act. And if he got charged with that and convicted, he would have lost all his billions. However, he was not convicted of racketeering, RICO, and his peers, the jury, said that no, he was not racketeering. Racketeering is when you have like a criminal ring where you are making money from that criminal ring. Another thing that he got charged with is the Mann Act, and that is the Prostitution Act. And that's when you are bringing prostitutes over state lines and you are literally prostituting them. Now, Diddy did not prostitute anyone. He was bringing in what he considered entertainers, male entertainers. These male entertainers were people who Cassie and Jane Doe. everyone is assuming that Jane Doe is the ex of 50 Cent, but
50 Cent.
for the reason of being, respectful of the courts and calling her Jane Doe, we're not going to make assumptions here. But so there were only 2 women, and they were not prostitutes. They were
Right.
Diddy's girlfriends at 2 different times. Diddy did not prostitute them out. He did not do anything except reimburse these girls because these girls chose the guys that they wanted to have intimacy with. So these guys, some of them weren't even male sex workers. Some of them were just strippers, and they had really nice long apparatuses, the male piece, and they were they were showing themselves, and they got intimate with the girls. And so the girls brought them over state line. Diddy reimbursed them. Sometimes he would pay as well, and they would have something that was considered freak offs. Now, these were sometimes 24 hours, 48 hours, and Diddy did a lot of filming. So he considered himself a director. He pleasured himself in the corner. He did not get involved in these films. And he also did not have intimacy with these men. There was no chemicals in the baby oil, nothing like that. What he's being charged with right now, it does not line up to prostitution. So they want to see his legal team wants to see him get released on October 3rd or just drop his charges completely. What are your thoughts on that, Dee?
Well, he was convicted on lesser charges, and I know those charges carry a term, but I think it's very petty what he was convicted on. It was petty, and I feel he's done. I don't care for P. Diddy. Don't know much about him, but I just think that time served. He's been in there a year and a half, whatever time he's been in there. It's probably appropriate. He's a first time offender. I mean, that's my personal opinion on it. But I'll say this, and the system is not. I don't think it's going to be fair or consistent with other defendants who were white, who get easy slaps on the wrist for the same thing that he was convicted of. They're gonna make an example to show him that no matter how much money you get, no matter how powerful you are, you're still and here, take that. So I think he's gonna get punished. They're gonna make an example just to show a certain a certain community that stay in line. You get caught in the system. You get caught in this system. We're gonna deal with you. Period.
I wasn't a Diddy fan until I really paid attention to the court proceedings. Once I started to pay attention to the court proceedings during the trial, I realized that, hey, I think this guy is just like a real average dude. He certainly has money. He's a music mogul, but I started to actually like the guy. And even now, as he's in jail, it's being rumored that he has his own course that he started to help inmates. He's a model inmate. But aside from that, each Mann Act charge carries a sentence of 10 years. One thing during a hearing that they had last week, Friday on September 25th, was it was like an emergency hearing just before the sentencing. And the judge did say during that hearing, the judge asked the government, the prosecutors, would it be considered prostitution if a man walked into a brothel and hired a prostitute? Would that man be charged with prostitution? So that question alone made me think that the judge is thinking, because the judge is like, no, that's all Diddy did That's all he did. He walked into a hotel room and he had intimacy with himself, pleased himself, while his girlfriend had intimacy with a prostitute. Now, that's not him prostituting, and he wasn't making money off that. He was paying money.
Right.
So it doesn't fit. And it's so funny that you're saying that this seems like it would be like a lesson, but a white man may get off if he was charged. And you want to know something? This Mann Act was actually created for Black men, not to take white women over state lines. Exactly. So this is a racist charge as well. Right. It's like, okay, this is a Black man. For sure, he's going to go down. All around, I think he has been mischarged. Now, is Diddy guilty of some stuff?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I don't know how involved he is with Tupac's death, with Biggie's death. I don't know about all that, and all of that is not this court case. His baby mama, Biggie, Heavy D, the manager, Adrian or Andre, everyone that was around him just seemed to drop by heart attacks. And, even when they tried to say that he did the arson against Kid Cudi during the trial, even Kid Cudi was like, you know what? Me and Diddy are cool. Even he didn't want to go against Diddy. So I'm thinking to myself right now that Diddy will get time served. I think that he has proven to be a role model inmate. He has done his anger management, and he has proven that he's never had a criminal record. And in this, I'm going to put faith in the American. Yeah, I'm going to put faith in the American justice system in regards to a Black man for the first time in my life. I believe that this judge, there's something about the judge that's really looking at Diddy and thinking, give him another chance. So let's see. We're going to update you guys on that.
Absolutely.
Just like we're going to, just like we're going to update you guys every day on these sports. What's going on in sports, D?
Well, let me just say this. What's going on in sports? I'm gonna start with college football. We'll start with the from the bottom and work our way to the top.
Okay.
The University of Miami Hurricanes, 305 all day, baby. We undefeated. The Hurricanes, they had a bye week. They're undefeated. They played some very good opponents, and they've won all their games. At the beginning of the season, I looking at their schedule. I said by this time we would have lost at least one game. We got Florida State, we got the Florida Gators, we had University of South Florida, South Florida, Notre Dame, 4 quality teams, and they were all ranked when we played them. And Miami is undefeated, and they're ranked number 3. They were ranked number 2 last week, but currently they dropped them because they're off this week. And Ohio State, they had I think it was Ohio State. They had a good win, and they got bumped up to number 3. So that being said, I know you have a favorite NFL team out there.
I do. I'm a cheesehead, guys. Green Bay Packers all day, every day. But I don't, I don't really have cable here, so I haven't really been keeping up with them. And so I'm relying on you. How are they doing? I heard that they're doing all right.
Let me tell you, I was so disappointed with the Green Bay Packers where, I root for Love, that the quarterback. I root for him. And they had the game in the bag with like a minute and 50 seconds left. I think a minute, 37 seconds left. They had the game in the bag. All they had to do was play defense and they would have won. They kicked the ball off. They had just scored a touchdown. They were down by 3 points, and and they were winning by 3 points, and they kicked off to Dallas. And when the defense came on, they go into a prevent defense where they gave Dallas ran like 4 plays, 20 yards each play, got in the field goal range, kicked the ball. Game goes into overtime, and in overtime, neither team could score. So they both, it was a tie. The game ended in a draw. And I just think it was poor defensive coaching on behalf of Green Bay. Everybody always say, oh, these people get paid big bucks. They get paid big bucks and they know what they're doing. No, they don't.
Not always.
No, they don't. They're old, washed up dudes who get passed around. They get fired from one team and go to the next team, and they stink it up here. They stink it up there. Green Bay could have won that game last night.
I agree with you that a lot of these coaches don't know what they're doing. Remember, I told you that I was dating a coach from way back in the day Toronto Raptors, and that coach would ask me sometimes who he should put in the lineup, the opening lineup. So I'm not surprised, So now, in regards to winning that game last night, how is Green Bay doing overall in the whole entire entire football right now?
They're doing good. They're right there. They're competitive. I think they're going to be around they're going to be around come playoff time. They'll be around. They'll be a part of the picture. But my thing with the NFL, because there's so many games, and there's with the possibility of you're only an injury or 2 away from your whole season going into the tank. I like to wait by week 6 or 7 before I start getting excited about the NFL, because you could stink it up and still make the playoffs if your division is horrible.
We just got out of, preseason. We're right into full season right now. Give us some predictions. What are some of your predictions? Because we're going to go back to this in a few months from now, just before February.
Okay. My predictions: Buffalo, a team that I hate because I'm a Miami Dolphin. Buffalo looks solid. They look real good. I think Buffalo's going to go back to the Super Bowl and play and contend again. Baltimore, their quarterback got hurt last night, but they I don't know what it is. They're just starting to look bad. They're not looking like the Baltimore of that we're used to seeing. I don't think Baltimore will make it beyond the first round of the playoffs. Now I'm thinking way ahead. I'm going way out there for Super Bowl. I just think my Dolphins play tonight. They've completely turned into a girl team. It's like a bunch of. I mean, they haven't won a game. You got the Miami Dolphins playing against the New York Jets. That's a big rivalry game, and Florida and New York. It's a big rivalry. 2 East Coast teams. Both teams are 0-3. Our quarterback, they're paying him $250. He has a contract of $250 million. He's making $50 million per season, and he's horrible. Mind you, it's horrible. He's had some concussions, which is really he did put a damper on his career, and he can't play as tough as he should. Understand what result. You don't want to get another concussion, because I think he's one concussion away from career-ending injury. So, but those are my little predictions right now. The Kansas City Chiefs, I watched them play. They've been playing pretty solid. They have a questionable record for the Kansas City Chiefs that we're accustomed to seeing over the past few years. They've lost a few games early. Usually they're undefeated. It's like week 6, they're still undefeated. They lost a couple of games. The Detroit Lions. I used to live in Michigan. I went to high school, a few years there in high school. So I love the Detroit Lions. That's my second team. They're doing pretty good, pretty solid. They're playing solid football. I think they're gonna make some noise at the end. So, but that's it for now. Football games are on Sundays from 1 p.m. on. College football is on Saturdays, and it's on from noon all the way up until midnight.
Okay. And NFL is on Sundays. And now they have Monday Night Football still?
Yes, you still have Monday nights.
What about Thursdays? Do they still have football Thursdays?
Yes, college football is on Thursdays, and you have an NFL game on Thursdays.
Okay. So the NFL is primarily primarily it's Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays for the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, as you can tell, I haven't been up to par on football in the last couple of years, but I still root for my team and I still love asking questions. But guys, I do promise you, as the show goes on, guys, I'm going to make sure that I am up to speed with a few things that are happening in the NFL. And if there's other teams that you guys want us to specifically follow, and you guys want to put down in the comments below what your predictions are, that would be really great. If there's any newscasts that you guys want us to follow or any entertainment news, make sure you let us know. But our show is going to be coming out every week. So right now it's October 1st. Every Wednesday, we're going to be coming at you guys. The middle of the week, hump day.
Yes.
Let everyone know your information.
I have Dimitri's Den, which is a beautiful Airbnb. You can see a lot of my info on TikTok under Donnie Jackson, and I'm also on Facebook under Donnie Jackson. And you can see a lot of the content, or you can just you can reach me, inbox me on either one of those networks, and I'll send you some beautiful videos. And you come on the North Coast. If you're ever on the North Coast, want to stay on the ocean front, get some ocean breezes and hear waves crashing, private beaches right here.
Oh, I'm there right now as you are talking. I'm putting up a video right here during editing process, so you guys can actually see exactly what we're talking about right now. This is where Donnie lives, and it's the north coast of the Dominican Republic in a town called Sosua. We both live here. It is beautiful. The breeze is gorgeous. If you ever want to come and visit, make sure you hit Donnie up, because it definitely is a luxury experience while you're right in the heart of it all. And Donnie is also a great host. He'll take you out and show you the town, whether you're a female or a male. A lot of women that want to come here, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be a sola traveler. But I came here sola. And it is a very safe town. And, Donnie is a really cool, honest gentleman, and I can vouch for him. You'll feel very safe in his place, and he'll take you around the town. If you're looking to go somewhere to eat, he can show you the favorite restaurants that he goes to and what a lot of us expats like to do. And guys, check me out on YouTube as well. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Cerise Fairfax, and I do the Dominican Republic news there. I also help you find apartments if you're looking for something budget friendly. And I do relocation if you're looking to relocate to the Dominican Republic, if you have any questions before you want to come. And on top of that, I just really invite you all. Gosh, thank you so much for being here. You guys know what to do. We don't need to tell you, but we're going to tell you anyway. Donnie, let them know what to do.
Hey, follow us, hit that like, share button, and continue enjoying our content.
Help our channel grow. We really are doing these videos for you because, hey, we love you. All right, guys, see you next week.
Go Canes.
Canes? Who's the Canes? Oh, the 302 area code?
305. 305.
305.
Miami Hurricane.
305.
Shake it him. Yo. Mic check 1, 2, it's the rundown crew. Cerise and Donnie spitting truth like they do. News on the block, sports on the rise. Entertainment served raw, no disguise. Got the streets buzzing from the east to the west. Every headline dissected, they bring the best. Cerise with the heat, Donnie's got the flow. 2 voices, 1 mic, let the knowledge grow. Take 2, rundown, you know the sound. Truth in the hustle, breaking new ground. Take 2, rundown, where the real gets found. Tune in, lock in, it's the illest around. Cerise dropping gems, sharper than the blade. She's the queen of the mic and she's never afraid. Donnie's got the stats, numbers on his tongue. Breaking down the plays till the game is spun. They talk about the wins and they talk about the loss. From the court to the field to the Oscars gloss. Keeping it 100, never out of bounds. They're the voices of the people, flipping all the rounds. Podcast waves like a storm in the night. Cerise and Donnie shedding pure insight. From the headlines dripping with cold hard truth to the laughs in between, keeping it aloof. So, what you gotta do? It's the illest. So.